Ladies and gentlemen, the first battle you fight each day is within. Before the world even sees you, before a single message arrives on your phone, before you hear anyone else's voice, you are already standing at a crossroads. One direction leads to your purpose, the other, to your patterns, expectations. Your morning mindset shapes your day, because the thoughts and emotions you entertain in the first moments after waking act as a mental blueprint for how you will engage with the world. Expectations. What you feed your mind in the morning becomes the lens through which you perceive challenges, interpret events, and carry yourself in your interactions. When you start your day with self-awareness, clarity, and intentional thoughts, expectations, you equip yourself to respond with calm and discipline rather than react impulsively or emotionally. It is not just about being positive, it is about being conscious. The mind, if left untended in the morning, easily falls into old patterns of stress, fear, or distraction. You may open your phone and instantly absorb the chaos of the world. Expectations. You may replay yesterday's doubts or worry about what the day might bring. But if you take control of your mindset from the first breath, expectations, you shift from being passive to being powerful. The first few thoughts in the morning hold more influence than most people realize. Your brain is still in a semi-meditative, alpha state, which means it is highly receptive. Whatever you feed it, gratitude, focus, purpose, or fear, anxiety, expectations, and distraction, will multiply throughout your day. It's like planting a seed. If you plant a seed of clarity and self-trust, your actions will reflect that inner strength. If you plant a seed of worry or self-doubt, your decisions will mirror that as well. Expectations. Waking up is not just a physical act, it is a mental ritual. If you rise with intention, you create a sense of control that carries into the hours ahead. Expectations. You do not control what life throws at you, but you control the internal state with which you meet it. And that internal state is deeply influenced by the first 5 to 10 minutes of your morning. Think of the morning as a sharpening stone. Expectations. The thoughts you use to shape your blade will determine whether you go through the day cutting through obstacles with precision or dulling your energy against every minor irritation. Expectations. A chaotic mind in the morning will seek chores throughout the day. A centered mind will find clarity even in the storm. Expectations. When you speak powerful truths to yourself in the morning, such as, I am grounded, I do not chase, I align, my focus is sacred, you program your subconscious to move with calm, clarity, and direction. Expectations. These statements are not empty affirmations, but verbal commitments that remind you of who you are choosing to be. Most people underestimate how easily they give away the tone of their day. They scroll, they rush. Expectations. They let external stimuli dictate their internal state before they've had a chance to claim their own energy. But when you slow down and use the early minutes of your day to check in with yourself, to breathe deeply, reflect, expectations, and declare your priorities, you begin to lead your day rather than survive it. This practice is the root of self-mastery. Expectations. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about preparing yourself to meet everything with presence, intention, and power. Whether it's a difficult conversation, an unexpected setback, or a long to-do list, your inner atmosphere will determine how well you navigate it. Expectations. Morning mindset is not a luxury, it's a form of inner leadership. You are either conditioning your mind, expectations, or your mind is being conditioned by everything around you. The stronger your morning discipline, the more resilient your energy becomes throughout the day. Expectations. This is why your mindset is not just an idea. It's a living force that determines the quality of your decisions, the peace you feel within, and the results you create. Expectations. Discipline and stillness are your strengths because they are the foundation of mastery in any area of life. While the world glorifies constant movement, noise, expectations, and external achievement, it is discipline that allows you to stay aligned with your purpose. Expectations. And it is stillness that gives you clarity to act without confusion. Discipline is not about restriction or punishment. Expectation is about devotion to the path you have chosen. It is the decision to show up when it's inconvenient, to keep going when the motivation fades. Expectations, and to stay true to your values when temptations and distractions surround you. In a world where people constantly seek shortcuts, the one who remains disciplined becomes powerful. Discipline means waking up early even when you're tired. It means training your body, your mind, expectations, and your emotions with consistency. It means not waiting for the perfect mood, but instead creating it through intentional action. Expectations. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your inner authority. You prove to yourself that your word has weight. This builds not only results in the outer world, but deep self-trust within. Stillness, on the other hand, is the invisible strength that most people overlook. It is not inactivity or passivity. Stillness is control. It is the ability to pause before reacting. It is the space between stimulus and response where true power lies. In stillness, you hear your intuition. In stillness, you see clearly. When the mind is noisy, decisions are made in fear or confusion. When the mind is still, choices come from awareness and alignment. Expectations. Stillness is the state where wisdom arises. It allows you to observe your thoughts without becoming them. Expectations. It teaches you that not every emotion needs to be acted on, and not every thought deserves your belief. In the world of constant stimulation, the one who cultivates stillness becomes untouchable. They cannot be manipulated by trends, panic, or emotional storms because their anchor lies within. Expectations, not outside of awe. Together, discipline and stillness create a powerful harmony. Discipline keeps you walking the path. Stillness keeps you walking it with awareness. Discipline is the sword. Stillness is the shield. With discipline, you build. With stillness, you refine. Many people are disciplined but agitated. They do the right things but with no peace. Expectations. Others are calm but inconsistent. They have good intentions but no follow-through. But when both qualities are trained and integrated, expectations, your life becomes a reflection of focused strength. You do not rush, yet you do not delay. You move when the moment is right, not when fear or impulse pushes you. Discipline and stillness also guard you from unnecessary suffering. When you're disciplined, expectations, you don't fall into regret from procrastination, laziness, or self-sabotage. When you're still, you don't fall into emotional overactions, anxiety, or mindless conflict. You conserve energy, focus your mind, and act with clarity. These qualities cannot be given to you. They must be cultivated like a garden, patiently, daily, deliberately. At first, discipline feels difficult. Stillness feels empty. But with time, expectations, they become your natural state. You begin to trust the process more than the outcome. You begin to find joy in the structure, peace in the silence, and power in the pause. In this way, you become unshakable. You no longer need chows to feel alive, or validation to feel worthy. Expectations. You no longer chase moments to escape yourself because you are at home within yourself. The warrior who trains discipline without stillness becomes aggressive and restless. The seeker who practices stillness without discipline becomes passive and ineffective. But the one who masters both becomes balanced, clear, and formidable. Expectations, they can enter any situation with calm presence and take action without hesitation. They become the storm and the silence. Expectations, they become the one others look to, not because they shout the loudest, but because their quiet presence speaks the loudest. Challenges are opportunities to grow because they reveal what is hidden within you and demand a version of yourself that you have not yet fully accessed. Most people want growth without discomfort, but that is not how nature works. Just as a muscle must be stretched and torn to grow stronger, the human spirit needs pressure to awaken dormant strength. When life brings challenge, it is not attacking you. It is inviting you to expand. Without difficulty, there would be no reason to develop resilience, patience, clarity, or courage. It is only in the face of resistance that your inner capacity is tested, revealed, and sharpened. Growth does not happen in convenience. It happens when you are uncomfortable, uncertain, or even afraid. Challenges introduce you to yourself in a way comfort never can. When everything goes according to plan, you move through life asleep. But when life shakes your foundation, you must decide, will you collapse, or will you adapt and rise? Every setback, obstacle, or pain is a doorway. But to walk through it, you must let go of victimhood and step into responsibility. The question is not, why is this happening to me? But, what is this showing me about myself? When you begin to see challenges as reflections rather than punishments, you access a different kind of wisdom. You stop running from difficulty and start using it as fuel for growth. Life is constantly sculpting you, not with ease but with trials. The storm is not here to destroy you. It is here to strip away what is no longer needed. The hardship is not the enemy, it is the training ground. Every challenge asks something of you. It asks you to dig deeper, to think differently, to let go of what you thought you knew, and to become more than what you were. In that process, you begin to realize that growth is not about adding more to yourself. It is about uncovering what has always been within you. You do not become stronger by avoiding what's hard. You become stronger by confronting it, staying with it, and learning from it. Each time you overcome something difficult, you gain not only confidence but wisdom. You start to see patterns, to recognize your emotional responses, and to understand where your fears and limitations truly lie. That awareness becomes your power. What once shook you now sharpens you. What once made you anxious now teaches you discipline. The more challenges you face, the more you realize that pain and discomfort are not signals to retreat. They are signs that growth is near. There will be moments when the challenge feels overwhelming, when everything in you wants to quit, escape, or blame someone else. But if you can pause and ask yourself, what is life trying to teach me here? You take back your power. The challenge is not the problem. Your perception of it is. Shift your perception, and the entire experience changes. You start to move from reaction to reflection, from panic to patience. Instead of seeing challenges as interruptions, you see them as instructions. The most resilient people are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who learned how to convert difficulty into discipline, and adversity into alignment. They allowed pain to purify them rather than poison them. That is what makes someone unbreakable. Not the absence of challenge, but their response to it. Every person you admire for their strength, clarity, or wisdom has walked through fire. They have been tested, humbled, and refined. That same strength exists within you, waiting to be awakened. And it is only through challenge that you will find it. Growth does not ask if you are ready. It asks if you are willing. Willing to endure, to learn, to fail, and to rise again with greater clarity and resolve. That is how challenge becomes your teacher, your trainer, and ultimately, your transformation. Authenticity and intuition are non-negotiable, because they are the core of your integrity, your peace, and your alignment with the life you are meant to live. Without authenticity, you wear masks, and with every mask you wear, you distance yourself from your true power. Without intuition, you are guided not by inner truth, but by external noise, opinions, and the pressure to conform. To live without these two forces is to live disconnected from yourself, your purpose, and the wisdom that already exists within you. Authenticity means choosing truth over popularity, alignment over approval, and your inner voice over the world's expectations. It is not about being loud or rebellious, but about being honest. Honest about your values, your feelings, your needs, and your boundaries. It means not betraying yourself to fit in, and not pretending to be what you're not just to be accepted. When you live inauthentically, you may gain temporary validation, but you lose long-term peace. The price of pretending is inner conflict. The cost of silence, when your soul wants to speak, is the erosion of your spirit. Your intuition is the quiet guide that always knows. It doesn't shout or beg for your attention like the ego does. It whispers, it nudges, it speaks in silence and stillness. But the more you ignore it, the more disconnected you become from your own life. You start making choices that feel wrong in your body, even if they look right on paper. You start living someone else's story, chasing someone else's goals, and walking paths that were never meant for you. The outer world might applaud you, but inside, you feel misaligned, empty, or restless. Intuition is your inner compass. It does not operate on logic alone. It is a form of wisdom that transcends intellect. It is your lived experience, your spiritual awareness, and your energetic sensitivity speaking to you in ways that the mind cannot always explain. But most people trade that wisdom for certainty, even if it means living a life that's not their own. The modern world often encourages performance, not presence. It rewards image, not essence. And so, many people feel the pressure to suppress what is real in favor of what is likable, profitable, or acceptable. But the more you disconnect from your authenticity, the more you suffer. The more you ignore your intuition, the more lost you become. Eventually, you stop recognizing yourself. And that is the deepest kind of suffering, to live a life so edited, so rehearsed, that you forget who you were before the world told you who to be. The reason authenticity and intuition are non-negotiable is because they are not luxuries or accessories to self-growth. They are the foundation. You cannot build a meaningful life without truth. You cannot find purpose without trust in your inner guidance. Authenticity brings peace, because you no longer have to remember who you're pretending to be. You show up as you are, and that energy is powerful. It commands respect, not through force, but through presence. It inspires others, not by impressing them, but by reminding them of their own truth. Intuition brings clarity, because it cuts through the noise. It helps you sense what is right for you, even when others disagree. It helps you feel what your next step is, even when there is no evidence yet. And it helps you avoid paths that would betray your soul, no matter how tempting they appear. When you honor your authenticity, you create from your essence, not your ego. When you follow your intuition, you walk with an inner certainty that no external doubt can shake. Together, these two qualities make you unshakable, because you are no longer driven by fear, manipulation, or comparison. You are driven by alignment, and alignment is more powerful than any strategy, status, or script. In a world full of distractions, your authenticity grounds you. In a world full of voices, your intuition guides you. Without them, you may succeed in the eyes of others, but fail yourself. With them, even your struggles become sacred, because they are rooted in truth. Expectations. Protect your energy and focus, because they are the two most valuable currencies you have. In a world that constantly competes for your attention and drains your spirit with noise, opinions, urgency, and comparison, learning how to guard your mental and emotional space becomes an act of self-respect and survival. Your energy determines the quality of your presence, expectations, the clarity of your thoughts, and the emotional state from which you act. Your focus shapes what you build, what you become, and how effective you are in moving toward your goals. When either is compromised, you lose your sense of direction and power. Every interaction, expectations, every thought, every digital notification pulls from your limited reservoir of energy. And if you are not deliberate with how you use that energy, expectations, you end up tired, frustrated, and scattered, giving pieces of yourself to things that do not matter in the long run. Expectations. The truth is that you do not have an infinite amount of attention each day. Your focus is a sacred force that, when directed with intention, can create transformation. But when it is hijacked by distraction, overthinking, or constant reacting, it becomes diluted and ineffective. Your energy is not meant to be given to everyone. Not every conversation deserves your full emotional investment. Not every conflict requires your engagement. Expectations. Not every thought deserves your belief. Protecting your energy means you stop allowing the external world to dictate your inner state. Expectations. It means you become selective with who you allow into your space, what content you consume, and which habits you allow to shape your mind. The quality of your life is directly tied to what you tolerate. And what you tolerate becomes your reality. When you begin to truly value your energy, you start removing yourself from environments, people, and behaviors that drain you. You start recognizing that peace is more important than being right, and that clarity is more powerful than chaos. You don't chase everything. You choose what aligns. Focus is a byproduct of disciplined energy. When your energy is scattered, your focus weakens. You start 10 things and finish none. You feel busy but not productive. You move a lot but go nowhere. Expectations. But when your energy is grounded and protected, your focus becomes sharp like a sword. You cut through distraction, move with purpose, and align your actions with your goals. Protecting your focus requires boundaries. Mental, digital, emotional, and physical. Expectations. It means saying no without guilt. It means disconnecting to reconnect with yourself. It means recognizing that presence is power and multitasking is often a myth. Focus is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most with full awareness. And that only happens when your energy is calm, clear, and unburdened by noise. Many people lose years of their life to distraction, scrolling endlessly, arguing pointlessly, worrying excessively, expectations, and engaging in things that don't bring them closer to who they truly want to become. And often, it's not because they lack potential. It's because they leak energy in too many directions. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is essential. It allows you to show up for the people and tasks that actually matter. It allows you to heal, reflect, create, and evolve. It allows you to think for yourself, feel deeply, and make decisions that come from clarity, not compulsion. Focus is how mountains are moved. Expectations. Energy is the force that does the lifting. You can't fake sustained success or peace without both. When you protect them, expectations, you stop living on autopilot and start living with design. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop being pulled by the world and start pulling your own destiny into alignment. In this way, energy and focus are not just traits. They are your superpowers. And guarding them is not a one-time task, but a daily practice of awareness and intention. Expectations. You are not your past. You are the present architect because your past is a series of moments that shaped you. Expectations. But it does not define you unless you choose to live within its limits. The experiences you have gone through, the mistakes you've made, expectations, the pain you've carried, and the labels others have put on you are not chains, unless you keep holding on to them. Every day you wake up, expectations, you are given the tools to build again. You are not bound to repeat the same thoughts, decisions, or behaviors unless you refuse to let go of the stories that no longer serve you. The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. It contains wisdom, not worth. Expectations. What you went through may have hurt you, but it did not end you. What you survived may have broken a part of you. Expectations. But it also revealed the strength that still lives within you. Growth happens the moment you realize that you are not a reflection of what happened to you, but a reflection of what you choose to do now. Many people allow their past to become their identity. They replay old failures, live in guilt, or carry shame for who they once were. But identity is not fixed. It is fluid, and it evolves every time you choose a different thought, make a different choice, or take a different path. You are not here to be trapped by your former self. You are here to transcend it, to rewrite the patterns, to unlearn the lies, to dismantle the limiting beliefs that were formed in moments of confusion, fear, or survival. You are not your trauma, expectations. You are not your mistakes. You are not the version of yourself that didn't know better. You are not who you were when you were tired, lost, afraid, or angry. Expectations. You are who you decide to become through presence, awareness, and action. Being the architect of your present means taking ownership of your thoughts, your energy, your choices, and your vision. It means refusing to be a passive observer in your own life and stepping into the role of creator. You are not a victim of the past. You are the author of the now. And in this moment, you have the power to choose differently, to forgive, to heal, to act, expectations, to speak, to align. Everything you need is not locked in yesterday. It is alive in your willingness to engage fully with today. Expectations. The most powerful transformation begins when you stop asking why the past happened and start asking what the present is calling you to become. The past may have given you wounds, but it also gave you wisdom. And when you stop clinging to what was, you make room for what can be. Expectations. You begin to see that your pain had purpose, your delays were preparation, and your breakdowns were the beginning of breakthroughs. The scars are reminders of battles won, not symbols of defeat. The lessons are blueprints for stronger foundations, not signs of failure. As the architect of your present, you are not building with perfection. You are building with intention. And that is far more powerful. Expectations. You decide what to carry and what to leave behind. You decide what habits to reinforce and which beliefs to release. Expectations. You decide what kind of character you step into, what kind of energy you embody, and what kind of legacy you leave. Freedom is not found by erasing the past. It is found by reclaiming the present. Each breath, each moment, each conscious choice is a brick. With enough presence, expectations, even the most painful past becomes a source of strength rather than shame. You are the architect now, and your design is not limited by what came before. It is shaped by the clarity, courage, and commitment you bring into today. The past may be part of your story, but it is not your final chapter.